You guys, I don't even know how to start this without sounding dramatic, but something about Taylor Frankie Paul right now feels off. Like, not just celebrity drama off. I mean, pattern forming, something isn't adding up. Why does this keep happening kind of off? And I'm sorry, but am I the only one seeing this? Because every time we think things have calmed down, every time it's like something new drops and you're just sitting there like, wait, again? Okay, so let's just start here. There's a new allegation. Yeah, another one. Reportedly, Dakota went back to the police again, claiming another alleged domestic incident tied to 2024. And I'm sorry, but tell me why this keeps happening in different years, different moments, different situations, but somehow the same kind of chaos? Like, what is happening? But wait, before we even get into the new stuff, you have to understand why this feels so weird, because this isn't just about one situation. This goes back, and when you go back, that's when things start to click in a way that's honestly kind of uncomfortable. So let's rewind. 2023, that body cam footage, you know the one people thought they understood until the full version dropped, and suddenly it's like, oh, this is way worse than we thought, because before, it felt chaotic but incomplete. Now you see everything and you're like, this is not just one bad night. Police show up, they knock, the door opens, and immediately you can feel the tension. Not normal argument tension, volatile. Like, something was already at a breaking point. And then this is where it gets weird. Right in front of officers, Taylor allegedly tries to swing at Dakota in front of police. I'm sorry, but who does that? What kind of headspace do you have to be in where officers are literally standing there and you're still reacting like that? They separate them. Taylor goes outside, Dakota goes to the garage, and already the stories start splitting. Taylor is visibly drunk, admits to drinking, says things escalated, but also claims Dakota hurt her. So now you're like, okay, both sides are saying something happened. But then Dakota starts explaining his side, and this is where things start layering in a way that feels repetitive. He says alcohol has been an issue before, something they've talked about, something they've tried to avoid. And I'm sorry, but why does that sound like this wasn't the first time? He says he picked her up, saw how drunk she was, told her she shouldn't go out again. She got upset. The argument started in the car and then followed them home. And I swear, this is where it starts feeling less like a random fight and more like a cycle. But wait, it gets worse. According to him, once they get home, things don't stay verbal. She allegedly throws her phone, then other objects, and it just spirals. And you're sitting there like, this escalated way too fast. He says he was fighting for his life, which is a strong statement. Obviously, that's his version, but still, that's not something people just casually say. He shows injuries, says his finger might be broken, points out bumps and marks, and claims the only thing he did was push her away, and she fell. And I'm just sitting here like, okay, either this situation is wildly misunderstood or there's something deeper happening here. But this is where things change. There's a child in the house, on the couch, watching TV the entire time. I'm sorry. What? Like, how does it even get to that point where something this intense is happening and a child is just there? And this is where people started questioning things even more, because later when that video of chairs being thrown came out, people noticed Dakota moving toward the child and were like, wait, was he hiding behind her? Which sounds bad, but then in the full footage, he explains he was trying to protect her, to shield her, even admitting maybe it wasn't the best decision. And now you're stuck again, because it's like, which version do you believe? What actually happened in that moment? Everything feels messy. Nothing is clear. It's all layers and perspectives. But then the police make a decision. They say Taylor is the primary aggressor and they arrest her. And you would think that's the lowest point, right? Like, it can't get more serious than that. But wait, this is where it gets even more confusing, because Dakota doesn't want her arrested. He literally asks if it's going on record, if it will ruin her, even asks if they can take him instead. And I'm sorry, but what? You're telling me someone just described being attacked and then is trying to protect the person who allegedly did it? like I'm not judging, but that dynamic is not normal. And this is where I started thinking, is this just one emotional reaction or is this a pattern between both of them? Because that kind of response doesn't usually come out of nowhere. Usually comes from history, from repetition, from something that's happened before. I'm not saying that's definitely the case, but tell me why it feels like it. And then fast forward, despite all of this, the show still happens. Mormon Wives moves forward. And I'm sorry, how does footage like that exist and production still decides to continue? They didn't show everything, just snippets, but someone had access to the full video. They knew, and they still went ahead. And now years later, filming is suddenly paused. And I'm like, wait, why now? Because if this was already known in 2023, what changed? This is where things get weird. Some cast members have hinted they're learning new things, that there may be more going on, that this might not be isolated. And I'm sitting here like, so you're telling me this could be recurring? Because if that's true, then everything we thought was a one-time incident becomes something else entirely. And then boom, new allegation. 2024 incident, police involved again, more footage being reviewed, and I just can't ignore the timeline anymore. 2023, major incident. 2024, another alleged incident. 2026, everything resurfaces. Like, is this a coincidence or is this a pattern? Am I crazy? Because it's starting to feel like every time things go quiet, something else comes out. And then to make things even more chaotic, you have outside commentary. Nick Viall jumps in, questioning how she even got cast in major roles. And that opens another layer because now it's not just about personal issues, it's about how this was handled publicly. Because allegedly there were talks of her becoming a major dating show lead, and people are like, wait, after all of this? And then rumors shift. Other names get thrown around, other influencers, other reality stars, and suddenly it feels like people are quietly stepping back. And I'm like, is that intentional or just coincidence? Because the timing is suspicious. And this is where I start asking bigger questions, not just about Taylor, but about the system around her. Who knew what? When did they know it? Why did things move forward anyway? And why are they stopping now? Because that gap between we knew and we acted is where things get uncomfortable. And it gets worse because now public opinion is completely split. Some people think she needs help, that she's struggling, that alcohol plays a role, and things spiral. Others think this is about accountability, that it's happened too many times. And then there are people who are just confused because the story keeps changing. The footage adds context, but also raises more questions. And I think that's what makes this so hard to look away from. It's not clear. It's not clean. It's not one narrative. It's layers, contradictions, moments that don't fully align. And every time you think you understand it, something else drops. Another report, another clip, another perspective, and you're back to square one. Like, what is the truth here? Because even now, with new allegations being reviewed, we don't have full answers. We have claims, footage being analyzed, statements being requested, but not resolution. And I think that's the most unsettling part because this isn't a closed story. It's still happening, still evolving, still adding layers. And I'm just sitting here like, what happens next? Does more footage come out? Do more people speak up? Does this escalate further or does it quietly disappear? Because if there really is a pattern here, it's not going to just stop on its own. And I'm not trying to jump to conclusions, but I also can't ignore what's in front of us. Multiple incidents, similar themes, escalation, then silence, then something new. Like, you guys, be honest. Does this feel like a coincidence to you, or does it feel like something bigger is slowly being uncovered? Because I don't think we've seen the full story yet, not even close. And something tells me the more that comes out, the more questions we're going to have. Maybe there's context we're missing. Maybe things aren't what they seem. But also, what if they are? And if they are, then what does that mean going forward? For her? For the show? For everything tied to this? Because right now, it just feels like we're in the middle of something, not at the end. And I don't think this story is done yet. Not even a little bit. But tell me what you think.